Hi, it's Kevin Labates here, and today a practical look at how authentication is managed at the moment and how it might tie into self-owned identity. So there's this maxim in authentication that says there are three possible ways. One is something you know, the second is something you have, and the third is something you are, although I don't like the wording of the third one. So the first one, something you know, is something like a password, and passwords are so common across the internet. They're also known to be very, very poor forms of security because people tend to pick bad ones. And I don't know why people don't use password managers. It doesn't make sense to try and keep all your passwords in your head these days, but people don't seem to be moving en masse to using password managers, and they really should. The second, something you have, well, that could be a physical thing like a key or a dongle that you plug into your laptop, or it could be a piece of software running on your phone that generates these random codes, things like Google Authenticator or Authy. I prefer the latter. And then the third one, something you are, well, I think it's more a question of something that is a part of you. So that's things like biometrics, thumbprints, and your iris pattern, maybe even your DNA. Now, this one always makes me feel a bit uneasy because whereas something you know can be forgotten on purpose, or something you have can be destroyed or thrown away, the problem with biometrics is they are inextricably tied to you. And if your thumbprint or your iris pattern becomes compromised in some way, you can't go out and get a new thumb or a new eyeball. And similarly, there's cases, for example, of people having their thumbs removed by criminals who want to steal their car. And I'm sure some of you have seen movies out there where people are walking around with extracted eyeballs in order to break into optical recognition safes. So the fact is that whereas the first two forms can be discarded, the problem I see with biometrics is that it's so tied to you that there is a real risk. You can never distance yourself from your fingerprints or from your iris pattern or from your DNA. That's kind of with you for life. So that's one of the reasons why I feel uneasy about biometric authentication systems. Anyway, those three things then give you access to your system, and that they will form or do form an important part of self-owned identity because they kind of are the gateway through to you actually owning and using the system. Hope you found that interesting. See you in the next video soon. Bye for now.